How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for willing to do this.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for inviting me on.
Start from the beginning and just kind of jump around in terms of roles in your career and everything.
Okay, cool. Well, it's actually a funny story. So my mom, when I was really little, I was like painfully shy, like really, really shy. And my mom was really afraid that I was gonna like become really awkward.
Oh,
And so when I was like 2 or 3 years old, she used to make me recite poetry and like rhymes and stuff like that at like big cultural Indian functions. And so I'd have to go on stage and I would be like holding on to her leg, like reciting this poetry. But I think I caught the bug then. And so I always tease her when she's like, oh, like when I was growing up and I finally decided to go into the arts and she was like, what? You're going into the arts? And I was like, Mom, you created a monster. Like this is your fault.
yeah.
But yeah, so I started there. I started dancing when I was like 2 years old. And then it was kind of intermittent. So it was like a lot of performance in my life. And then my first official acting class when I was like 11, I think. And then yeah, and then I continued all the way through high school and everything, dancing and acting and singing like in school. But then I even went through all the way through college, just doing it kind of on the side for fun, but secretly that's what I really, really wanted to do. And it wasn't until after my master's degree that I finally officially professionally jumped in and I got a role as Juliet on stage in Romeo and Juliet. I got my equity card and then it just went from there. I booked my first feature film. I moved to Los Angeles and it all kind of started. But I have a master's degree in educational children's television. And so I did a lot of stuff with animation for that. And I mean, I've always loved children's TV, which is why I have a master's degree in it. And so I'm like, I've always had a love affair with animation and so voiceover was kind of a very natural fit.
Mhm. So, how you got the SAG be your role in the English teacher?
Yeah, so the English teacher was my first Taft Hartley, and then I decided to stay SAG eligible for as long as I could. So then I booked like other TV show roles as a SAG eligible performer, so like Parks and Recreation, and I think it was what was the one that I was a must join on? I can't remember, but I basically waited until I was a must join, and then I joined finally.
Okay. And what was your experience on that movie, English teacher?
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. That was such a dream come true. Julianne Moore is one of my all-time favorite actresses ever. So to be in a movie with her and have a scene with her was just such a dream come true. But it was my first feature and I'd done like student films and stuff before, so I was familiar with like acting for the camera, but like this was a big deal. And I was super shy. She was so nice, but like when we were like waiting to go on, I was like like I couldn't talk to her. And I to this day regret it. I hope I have another chance to meet her so I could be like, Julie, you're my favorite. But but yeah, but that was that was great. And there were so many great actors in that movie too. Like I mean, Nathan Lane was in there. I got to meet him and yeah, it was a phenomenal experience. Craig Zisk, the director, was so kind and nice and it's wonderful working with him and yeah, it was great.
And was it very involved to get a part in Parks and Rec?
No, just a standard process. Just went in, got the audition, call back, and then I booked it. Pretty normal. But I didn't think I was going to. I remember that was my first co-star on TV, and I left the audition crying actually because I thought I really messed up. And then I got the call, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah, yeah. I knew that, but actually yeah. You just never know sometimes.
Yeah. Is there any kind of funny story you have being involved in that show?
On Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
No funny stories. It was just a really wonderful experience. I mean, they were so efficient. I was in and out of there like so fast. I had three full scenes and I was really impressed with how quickly everything moved. And Rashida Jones and Aubrey Plaza were amazing. They were so cool and like laid back. And Aubrey and I both went to NYU, so like we talked about that a little bit. And yeah, it was everybody on set was so nice. All the background people that were like chilling around me, like they were all so nice, and like everybody on that set was just really, really good energy.
I know after that that you've, or and still that you've been involved with a lot of short films and even like directing and producing some of them. Do you have a favorite?
A favorite? Oh, that's tricky. Mm. There was a short film that I did that I produced and acted in called Resolve, that I really, really loved. We actually made that film in 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
It was part of the 48-hour film project. And it was one of those films where like everything just like fell into place and the quality of it was just amazing. And I really loved our performance and yeah, so that was a lot of fun because you never know with the 48 hour. I love doing the 48-hour film festival because it's really fun to just like see what you can do in a weekend. And it's a good reminder. But that was really wonderful. And then the other one so far I would say is Everfall, which is still doing the festival run. I wrote and starred in that one, and that one is just a really special piece. It's a grief love story, and it came from a very like personal place, for both me and my writing partner Jamie. And yeah, it was a lovely experience to create it, and it was just like a very personal story. And I think grief is a really unifying, universal human experience. And so um, it's something that interests me. The current film that I'm directing, My Dearest Elizabeth, is also touches upon the theme of grief. So it's something that I think is I don't know, kind of near and dear to my heart in a certain way. Um, but yeah, Everfall was a really wonderful experience. That was directed by Ashton Avila. She's amazing. And yeah, it's always really nice to work with your friends. This is probably my favorites.
And I don't know if you can answer, but what is the like darkest emotional headspace you've had to get into for a role so far?
Hmm. Well, all my voiceover roles have been pretty light and
Right.
airy. So I haven't had to do anything pretty dark for that. I mean, obviously in voiceover, I'm most well known for Klee. Um, and she's so innocent and sweet and so no darkness there. But not voiceover, just regular acting wise. There's been a few roles. I would say, well, actually, in film, Resolve was kind of a dark space. Resolve was a neo noir film, and so it touched on some like dark issues. And I was playing a mother, who used to be kind of, I don't know, kind of like she got involved with like being like an assassin and stuff, and she had a child and she kind of moved away from that world, but then that world ended up kind of catching up with her. And so I had to like basically like I had put my child in a closet, and then she heard me being killed. And so as
Oh,
I was dying, I was like talking to her, telling her like, you know, don't, trying to make her okay.
yeah.
So that was pretty dark. There was a role on stage where I played somebody who was dying in hospice, and I was kind of trying to reconcile my relationship with my sister before I passed. So that was pretty dark. Uh, but yeah, but not for voiceover yet. Voiceover, I tend to spend to play children a lot. I can't give away anything yet because it hasn't been announced, but like I'm playing a mom on a TV series that's going to come out, voiceover.
Okay.
So those are more like fun and light, and I like those a lot too. So
Mhm. And on the topic of voiceover, was your first job in the Lori the Lousy Fairy?
yeah, that was my first one. I did some like scratch stuff when I was in grad school, but like Laura the Lousy Fairy was my first like official one. And oh, that was such a fun experience. The director of that actually directed me in One Chance to Dance, the feature film as well. So like I've gotten to work with him before. So that was really fun to like work with him again, and it was such a fun little show. I loved it. I loved playing Lori. She's a great character.
Mhm. And outside of Klee, have you had any opportunity to dub anime or?
Anime, not yet.
Okay.
I would love to get into anime. I think that would be so fun. But yeah, I'm still waiting to book some more anime stuff. That would be great.
Mhm. And before I got into that, there were some other on-camera things I wanted to ask about. What was your experience on baskets?
Oh my gosh, Louis Anderson was so cool. That was so awesome. And he had just won an Emmy, I think, like right like before and stuff. So that was awesome. And he's one of those performers that's like super present. So like while we were waiting to shoot and stuff, he would talk to me and like, is lovely. He just like looks at you and he's just so present, and it was great. He was very chill, very laid back, and meanwhile me on the inside, I was like, Louis
Mhm.
Anderson. But yeah, that was a wonderful experience.
And some of the, outside of what you've already mentioned, some of the other short films look like they were more intense and horror based. Have you been involved in many horror uh, projects?
I just well co-wrote and directed a little bite-sized horror series called Parallel. It was
Yeah.
in the middle of the pandemic, and we couldn't see each other, so like we wanted to make something on Zoom. So we did this piece, and I loved it. That was my first time creating horror. Performing horror, I think I've done some stuff like really early in my career, but I don't even know if it's out there actually for anyone to see. But that was really fun. Creating horror was more fun than I thought. My co-creators, Natasha Goss and Ebony Wims, they have more experience in terms of consuming horror stuff. Like they're really big horror fans. I like horror, but I'm one of those people that's like a little bit weird. Like people who tend to love horror or hate horror, and I'm one of those rare people that like likes horror.
Yeah.
There's stuff that I love. Like I remember when I was, growing up, like I loved Scream and like those big like slasher things that were like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all those ones that came out together, like those were amazing. And but but yeah, like there's other things like kind of, I don't know, cult classic type horrors that I'm like, meh. So I tend to wait until like I know something is really good and then I watch it and then I really, really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Um, I also have a really weird habit of laughing when I watch horror. I think it's like I get like really uncomfortable and it makes me laugh, which I think is a really weird impulse. But I remember I went to go see It, the new one that in the
Yeah.
theater, and when the little child was being killed, I was just laughing and I felt like such a psychopath. But I think I was just uncomfortable, but I was just laughing, and it was really, really embarrassing.
Yeah. I can imagine that it had been really cool, especially being on SWAT.
SWAT was really fun. And oh my gosh, they were all so nice too. Like my scene was very like dialogue heavy for my character, and I was really nervous because there's a lot of action too and a lot of like hitting the right marks because I was a scientist and I was like doing stuff while we were doing it. So it was a lot of words and a lot of action, and we had to like move. And they were so nice. They gave me like a pep talk and they were like, Poonam, you got this. Just relax. Like, what you're doing, your stuff. Just take it easy. And I was like, this is so nice. They're so nice on this show. So that was a really cool experience. And I loved working with the wardrobe people on that experience because they were like, you're a scientist, but we're going to make you like a cool scientist. And they gave me this really cool outfit, which I love.
Yeah. And it looks like around that same time would have been Good Girls too.
Yeah, that was a really fun experience. That was another like really fun set. That was a really small role, but yeah, everyone on that set was really cool. And I actually met one of my really, really good friends that day on that set. And we've become super close. Kristen Johansson, she's amazing. She's also a wonderful actress. Her son played Ben on that show. So that's why she was there. And Isaiah, her son. And so yeah, we've all become really good friends. We're both bi-coastal. So like we hang out in LA and we hang out in New York, and it's really fun. But yeah, that was special because I met her on set.
Mhm. Was that one of the last like major TV series that you've been part of recently?
Yeah, Good Girls and SWAT, I think were the oh, and Splitting Up Together. I don't
Yeah.
know which one came first. I think Splitting Up Together came first. I think SWAT was the one that aired the most recently. But yeah, those were the last ones. And then the pandemic hit, and so everything kind of shut down. Um, but it's all picking up again, and I'm getting lots of auditions again. So hopefully I'll book something soon. Wish me luck.
It looks like you got to do a lot of incidental voices on Psychonauts too.
Yeah. So I play Gisu in Psychonauts 2. She's one of the interns, and that was a really cool role because several years ago I got really into the skatistan stuff, and like all the young women and the young girls in the Middle East learning how to skateboard. And then when I booked Psychonauts as Gisu, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's based off of those girls that I absolutely loved.
Mhm.
So that was really, really, really cool. And working with Chris Brown, like she's amazing. Double Fine, everybody at Double Fine is so cool. And then yeah, and then a bunch of incidental voices too. I got to like play some little characters here and there in addition to Gisu. That was really, it was fun. It was fun. It's a really cool game. I'm really excited to I haven't actually played it yet, but I'm excited to know more because I'm really into like the brain and neuroscience and psychology and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's a game that's like totally up my alley. So
Right.
I gotta check it out.
And so, what was your personal story and how you got involved with Genshin?
Pretty standard actually, just an audition came through my
Okay.
agents, and I was really excited to book it. I love playing like young characters, like little boys and girls and stuff like that. I think my voice is really well suited for those kinds of roles, but Klee in particular, I love her character because she's so smart for being so young, and she's so like, I love that she gives everybody the benefit of the doubt, like even like scary characters.
Yeah.
um and she's just really like heart on your sleeve, like she's so powerful but she's still just a little kid, and I just think it's fascinating, and I love her so much. I love playing her.
Was it pretty easy for you early on then to find aspects to relate to her then?
Yeah, I think she was one of those, like even in the audition, like when I read the breakdown and got the lines and everything, like I felt her in my heart immediately. Like I was just like, oh, I know who you are. Like you're smart and you're cute and you love everybody. And I was like, yeah. It's kind of in that way she kind of reminds me of me when I was little. Well, I guess even now I still love everybody. So yeah.
And how much of the performance or audition was just your own interpretation, or were you being like directed afterward?
I think I got it pretty close. Like once I booked it and then I went in and got to work with Chris Faye, the director, who's also so awesome. Like it was pretty close. Like there was, for those scenes that I had to audition with, like I think I was pretty spot on. And then, as we moved forward, there was like little things to adjust and stuff like that. But it was cool. They liked my interpretation, so we went with that for the most part.
And did you become friends like right away with a lot of the cast?
Um, I think it was, I mean, right away once I met them. So like a few months, or like a couple of months after Genshin came out, Karina, who plays Paimon, found me on TikTok, and then everybody found me after that. And Karina is so awesome. I love her so much, and she's such a wonderful voice actor and actor. And yeah, I think that was like how everything started. But then everyone I've met in the cast is truly, truly awesome. Like just everyone, Christy Kate, Jen Losi. You know what? I just saw Josie the other day, who's performing in a musical at the Gary Marshall Theater, and I went to the
Yep.
musical just to go watch it with my friend, and I was like, "That's Josie on stage!" So that was really cool. It's really fun to just like expand the network, and yeah.
Yeah, I got to be. I think it was, yeah, 2 Sundays ago now. Yeah, I got to be the first person to interview Josie since he's been revealed as Kaya. So that was fun.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Kaya's a real cool character too. Josie's such a great guy. Yeah, that's really awesome.
So I had some questions from the Klee Reddit community that I mentioned before.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, the highest rated one was what your favorite voice line for her is.
Hmm, that's always a tough one. You're a good person, but I'm a bad girl. Once I get out of solitary confinement, we can go play together, okay?
Yeah.
I love that one. I just think she's so sweet and so funny. There's another one too, the one where she's like, child labor? What even is child labor? Does that mean I can't help?
Yeah.
I love that one. But I know I get a lot of requests on TikTok for lucky all my new bombs are waterproof.
Right.
Which actually I love that one a lot because I'm a pluviophile. So I love it when it rains. So I'm always like taking walks in the rain when it rains because it rains so infrequently here in LA. And so whenever it rains, I do a video of me saying that line, that one and the thunderstorm one, the one I'm like, when I blow up. Oh, it's just thunder and lightning.
Yeah. Somebody asked if you've ever been recognized in real life so far since being Klee.
I have not, but that would be so fun. I hope people know that I would love to be recognized and I will like totally be like, oh my God, yay!
Okay.
I'll be like fangirling for my fans.
Yeah. Somebody asked, would you be able to handle Klee if she was your own kid?
Oh yeah. I feel like Klee and I would be like, even if she were my daughter, we'd be best friends. Like we'd have so much fun together.
Yeah, a few people asked if you play the game.
You know, I did not grow up playing video games, so video games are difficult for me. I tend to watch a lot of gameplay, and my friends and my partner play Genshin, so like I watch them play. I
Okay.
did download it and try to play, but it was kind of overwhelming, and I couldn't really.
Okay.
But my castmates have been so nice. Zach has encouraged me to play, and like so many people in the cast are like, oh, don't worry about it, like it doesn't matter if you're good or not, like just play, we can do it together. So maybe I know some people have asked me to like make like a video of me trying to play, and then they're like, we'll help you, and I was like, maybe I'll do like a live stream, but honestly I'm very embarrassed that I find it so difficult and hard to play. So I admire all of you people who are so good at it. It's hard. It's very hard. But yeah, I'm still thinking maybe.
Okay. Another one was what's your favorite character interaction that she has with like other main characters in the game?
Ooh. Oh, there's a lot of them. I think it's Mona where she's like where's the book, and she's like, oh, I buried it, I buried the box, and then she brings the box and it's empty, and she's like, oh yeah, I took everything out so I could put my stuff in there. And then she's like, oh, that's what you wanted, here it is. And she's just like, it's just like, I love how like innocent it is because she's very smart, she's not dumb, but she's just like very like she's like a child. And so I just love how like innocent that whole interaction was. Like that was really fun. And then I love every interaction with Master Jean. Also, Stephanie is the best, and I think she's like one of the most amazing human beings ever to walk this planet. And so I love that I'm becoming friends with her. But I'm not biased. I just genuinely love Jean. I think Jean
Okay.
is awesome, and the way that Jean and Klee interact is so cute and sweet. And yeah, and Stephanie and we made that print for the Streamily event with Jean and Klee, and so we had a lot of fun hanging out and working on that together. And yeah, so that's a really fun one. But Klee is so great with everyone. I mean, Klee and Albedo have a really cute relationship, and that one I really love because in real life, my brother is like my most important person in my life. I love him to death. He's my big brother, 11 years older than me, so he's like really big. And yeah, something about the Klee and Albedo relationship kind of reminds me of us, which I love. I think Klee is probably more she's more of a badass than I am, to be honest. I think Klee is more adventurous and fearless than I am. But I wish I were like that, so it's okay to play it.
Okay. Also, really like the regarding character interaction. I like the relationship she has with D-Luke and like what she calls him. And
Oh yeah, he's one of the weird grown-ups. He never smiles. I love that. He's oh my gosh. Because also, like, people think when I use that line, people think that she doesn't like D-Luke, but I don't think that's true at all. It's not a judgment, it's just an observation. Like,
right.
she's just like, yeah, he never smiles. Like, he's kind of weird, but it's not like she doesn't like him. It's just an observation.
Mhm.
So I always make that very clear. Because I'm like, no, I love D-Luke.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that was most of them from that sub. So outside of what you mentioned already, is there any other things upcoming that you can talk about safely, or is it all under NDA?
Yeah, I don't think any of the other ones I can mention yet, but yeah, there's a few animation projects that are coming out soon, I hope, that I'm really excited for. Um, there's one thing that's playing right now that actually is anime. It's called Life After Bob. It is playing at the Shed in New York. It's a museum in New York, and it's also playing. Actually, it may be done, but it's playing in a couple of museums in Europe as well. But I think the France one is done. It's going to be playing in Berlin later, and I think I saw it was playing somewhere else, maybe Zurich. But it's based off of this AI digital art thing that the director of the anime did. It's like a first episode called Life After Bob, the Chalice Study, and I play three characters in it. I play young Chalice, Bob, and Sister Sun. And it's so cool. It's such an interesting world. It's like a sci-fi anime thing. And it's just a really fascinating world. The director, Ian Chang, just he did a really, really good job of creating this futuristic kind of space, and the other actors are so phenomenal in it. And I got to go to the premiere in New York, and it was just so cool. So if anybody gets a chance, if you're in New York, go to the Shed, go watch it. It's called Life After Bob, and it's really good.
Yeah, my final question with interviews is always asking, what do you want your legacy to be, or at least so far?
Well, that's a big question. My legacy? Wow. I really want to create art that touches people and inspires people to think, reflect, and feel, foster dialogue. I think that art has a really unique and immense ability to change the world. Not that the world needs changing, because the world is lovely as it is, but I think change is a reality, and it's the only constant. And so if we are going to be constantly changing, I hope that we all change for the better. And I hope that my art aids in that effort. And as a human being, I feel like love is the most important reason that I am here. And I hope that as much as I can, my interactions with the world are loving and peaceful and joyous. And I hope that people feel loved when they interact with me. And so I guess that would be my biggest like personal legacy, is that when people remember me, they remember me with love, and they remember how I made them feel.
Well, thanks. I'm glad that we got to do this.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really grateful, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Cool. Well, have a good day. Thank you again.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.